Jim, give him a minute. He's in a state of shock.
Okay, this is 15 Minutes with Del Rivers featuring no one other than Mike Murray, disc jockey and part-time musician. How you feeling today?
Lovely. Next question.
All right, I'll start out with the first one. This is like, I love this question because I like to hear your answer on it. How long have you been a DJ, including before Whole Lotta Shakin?
Not much more. Since 1983, I would say.
Did you used to do like house parties with Arthur Lou?
Well, yeah, that doesn't count. You're talking about being on the air?
Well, just playing out.
I don't know, jockeying. Making tapes for people. You want to go back to the late 70s if you want to go with that.
Oh, yeah.
So if making tapes, mixed tapes counts, the late 70s.
Wow, it's interesting.
Yeah.
How many bands or groups have you played in altogether? Do you know how many altogether?
See, 5, maybe more. But some lasted a short time. Most of them lasted a short time. I'd say about 5.
The one with the Insiders, what was that called?
Well, there was the Hidden Charms. There was the Reactions, then the Hidden Charms, and then the Hideouts, I think, and after that, Fertility, Rite brothers, and then the Quatloos, and I think that's pretty much it. So maybe it's 4. I don't know.
Well, that's cool. As far as like studio recordings, I know that you did like the Outsiders tribute and Fertility, Rite brothers.
That was the Quatloos. That wasn't a studio. That was Walt O'Brien's attic. On a 4-track. Only studio recordings we did were Hidden Charms in '84 and Fertility Rite Brothers in 1988.
Wasn't that the one with the Fertility Rite Brothers? Wasn't that like in Boston with the Liars or with Jeff Connolly or something?
No, not at all. I mean, we played a gig with the Liars, but he didn't record with us or anything. He offered to produce it. Jeff did, but that never happened.
Oh, okay. Because I thought you went to Boston. I
went to Boston for another reason, to drink with Judd Williams. That's why I went to Boston.
Judd Williams, of course, is the drumming legend that lives in Boston.
Mm-hmm.
This is a funny one. I recently recorded a video with the title Wacky Bushy Pineapples, just for the fun of it. Do you remember me talking about that?
I remember making up the word when we were kids about different colors of crayons that would be bizarre, and we came up with that, I believe. And, it had to be 1968, 1969, something like that.
I thought it was cereal. It was crayons?
It was crayons, yeah.
Wow, that's
colors.
cool.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
Yeah.
How's your cousin Steve doing? The one that does stand up with Elaine?
I don't know. He's 3,000. He's 3,000 miles away, and even then, I can still hear him now and again. He's loud enough, but I don't know. I guess he's still doing stand up out in Idaho. So I really don't know what he's up to other than that, though. Other than working at doing the Homer Simpson thing, working at a nuke plant.
Did he ever mention stand up comedy clubs in Idaho? I mean, is there?
He does. He posts them on Facebook, but I don't pay much attention on Facebook because he's 3,000 miles away. If he's playing at a comedy club, I'm not going. I lived with the guy for enough years of my life on and off. I've heard every joke he's had. Don't worry about it. Don't need to pay to see it.
What's Steve's last name? It's Natterelli, or I always get the name.
Natari or Natterelli.
Yeah,
I can't spell it. Yeah, that's it. It's on Facebook. Look it up.
All right. Is there any chance of, back to the music stuff, is there any chance of a Fertility Rite Brothers or Quatloos reunion?
There's always a chance. There's nothing in the works.
Has Rick Waldorfer ever approached you on that? Or
I don't see Mr. Waldorfer these days. I see Mr. McFadden. Brian Goodman's in Albany. So it's possible, but we haven't talked about anything. Although I think Darren would be interested in it.
Do you think Whole Lotta Shakin, the music show that you're on the radio with WRUR, it was ITR originally, WITR.
For a long time, yeah.
Has it influenced bands or other disc jockeys that you know of?
I would think so. I can't say in particular, but a lot of people have listened to it over the years and heard things maybe they might not have heard, or
yeah, because it seems like you did the show before Little Steven had the underground garage.
A lot of people were doing that. Bill Kelly's been doing a show since 1978. I mean, we've been doing a whole lot of Shakin since '84. There's the Primitive Show down in Poughkeepsie. There are people all over the country that have done this thing for a little while and gone out, and there are some, like Bill Kelly and myself that have been on for forever. So, there's always been a groundswell for this kind of music all the way from the early 70s. and it continues this to this day, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah, I know it's kind of branched off, especially with the internet.
Yeah,
there's like tons of stuff now.
Yeah.
You ever stay in touch with the Chesterfield Kings or Greg Stackhouse Prevost?
Yeah, I actually dropped over and picked up the copy of the single the other day at his house. And now and again with Greg via email, but that's it. I really haven't seen Andy or Rick Kona or anybody like that out in a while.
I thought he moved to New York City or something.
Who's that?
Greg Prevost. He lives in.
Greg lives in Rochester.
Rochester?
Yeah.
That's cool. Now this is one that I gotta know this one because I want to know your story behind it.
Yeah.
Are you actually related to a Spanish king?
Well, that's what it said in a biography that we had years ago on the family history during the Spanish Armada when that crashed and sunk. A lot of the Spanish took refuge in Ireland because they were a Catholic country and.
Is it on your dad's side or your mom's side?
That's my father's side, yeah.
Oh, your father's side. I always thought it was on your mother's side.
Well, I mean, it's how many years ago? 500-something years ago? I don't know. It's what they tell me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's very fascinating. I mean, if you're related, is there any kind of, like, title that you would get?
Yeah, there's a title, all right.
Prince or King Mike.
Grand High Exalted Poobah.
The Poobah.
Yeah.
Grand Poobah.
Yeah.
This is a funny one. Have you ever forgiven me for breaking your car window?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it was more fun to give you a hard time. That's not a problem. Mistakes happen. It was just fun to give you a hard time. That's all. It was cold out. It was the middle of winter. It was cold. I don't know if we locked the keys in the car.
Yeah.
You thought you could get your hand in there, and you just...
Yeah, because it was kind of flexible.
Well, whatever. It wasn't that flexible, and it broke.
Smashed.
So we had to drive home in, like, single-digit weather, single-digit degrees with the window open. And, we had to drive about 20 miles. But
I think we were saved by a Kinks.
Yeah, we had the Kinks cranked loud, so that made it bearable. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about our friend Chuck, or Chunk, and his scream.
Oh, well, he had a loud scream. It's his birthday today, is the date of this recording. And, I don't know, he just had a real loud scream. And, I remember one time he went underwater and screamed. And
is that possible?
Yeah, it was, because we all said do the scream underwater. We had it at somebody's pool over English Road, and he did it, and we could hear it underwater. Sure, sound travels underwater.
I always remember he would do it at clubs like Scordy's and stuff, and
sure,
he would scream, and nobody knew where it came from. This loud,
this really loud scream,
extremely loud.
Amazing,
it was so funny.
Absolutely.
Do you have any other stories or comments?
No, I have nothing to say at this time. Please consult my lawyer.
Now, this is the last question.
Okay, Jimmy.
I don't know how much time we used so far.
All right.
We used about 8 minutes. You got as much time you want to explain on this one.
What?
I can't believe we mentioned all this stuff in like 8 minutes. Usually it takes like 20 minutes.
Well, I don't have to,
What is your favorite food and your favorite restaurant?
I don't know. I don't have much favorite anything. I mean, favorite food would have to be a hamburger. Favorite restaurant? I don't know. Take me to the Chart Pit or something. Take me to a local place, the Caledonia Inn. I love that place, but take me to a local place because the national places are great. It's all good, but man, there's so much character and no pun intended flavor in local places, and just it's great. I mean, it really has something to it.
I always remember you eating a lot of, which was...
Well, I've been eating a lot of everything. It's
more than anyone I know is like cheese blocks of cheese.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's...
Show on that.
Yeah, well, cholesterol's way up, so that's out. So, yeah.
Do you have anything else to say about your show, like what time it's on?
Well, it's on Saturdays 4 to 6 on WRUR-FM. Find it on the web. It's 88.5 FM for you Rochester people.
Nice.
And, I did get a request for custard rice pudding yesterday. So there you go, Del.
Yeah, that's on your compilation.
Yeah,
CD.
compilation, yeah. So
Rochester bands and a couple of bands from Albany, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm only doing 10 minutes. You got anything else you could throw in there?
Nothing.
Nothing else.
Blowed up. Blowed up real good.
This is the first one I did with anyone that's less than 10 minutes.
Well, there you go, Del. So now you can just do like a...
Then we'll just do a long intro.
A video thing. Well, can't you just make the presentation 10 minutes instead of 15 minutes?
I could do
and
that.
Call it almost 15 minutes with Del Rivers because Mike didn't have time.
Or I could tack on somebody else's 5 minutes.
There you go.
I could do that.
There you go. I have nothing left to say.
All right, that sounds great.
All right, Jimmy.
Hey, thanks a lot, and we'll see you next time. And I'll be listening to you
As you should.
as I always do.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah.